I'm going to try collecting some balsam gum or pitch or sap to try an interesting twist on a fire making technique that I discovered. But I want to give credit to Mike at Bushcraft Bartons for doing an excellent video on collecting balsam fir gum from the blisters. And yeah, so way to go, Mike. I learned a lot from your videos. I'll be using a chiseled stick here rather than using my knife, because I just don't like gumming up my knife. So I found that a piece of chiseled wood here works pretty good. Now this fir in particular, well, it's the only one I could find around my camp, and it's a little bit difficult to see some of the obvious blisters, but there's a few here. Just collecting it on the stick, and I'm gonna smear it on a piece of wood. I just got this resting here, just wedged between this birch here, and I'm gonna just make a smear, collect as much as I can. So I'm gonna edit this video and collect a few blisters here. Just bear with me as I find another one. This balsam fir is a little bit lean on blisters. I'm doing this by looking through the viewfinder instead of looking at it for real, so it's a bit awkward. I really am amazed at some of the really excellent bushcraft videos done out there by people. I'm doing this with one hand on the camera and can't really. I'm really kind of messing it up here. In the summer, I think the balsam fir have a bit more obvious blisters. This one is lean. Lean. There we go. And each one is not yielding very much either. In the summer, they get really big. Okay. Here we go, big one. There we go. Come back for a second helping there in a minute. So what I want to do now is get some wicking material just right into this gum, and when the ferro rod spark hits it, it will ignite. I have found trouble just igniting the sap by itself without any fluff in there or wicking material. Now cattail seeds would be perfect, but there's none around here, like zero. And so I'm going to look for little bits of fluff or fine material that can act as a wick. Now it has been raining and things are moist and damp, but I'm going to try this little piece of lichen here. Stick it in, I'll work it in later. Just collecting it right, collecting it right there for now. So I just moved back into my hot tent here just for ease of shooting and setup. So I got this balsam gum, and I'm just going to mash this fibrous lichen piece into it. Now if it was raining and you were in a survival situation and had to get a fire going and you didn't have birch bark or anything like that, and you had balsam, it'd be tough to find a dry piece of lichen, but you can almost always find that somewhere. So I'm going to put that aside for a moment. I'm going to add another wicking material as well. So the next material that I was going to add to this smudge of balsam fir gum is the powder from the galleries of ants and other insects in wood. And you can find snapped off snags everywhere in old forest stands, and even if you don't have an axe, you can sometimes just grab a piece of it and rip, and you can split off nice pieces, and you can see this, you might see this powdery stuff here, and what you can do with your knife, and it'll be dry on the inside of the snags. So I'm just going to adjust the camera here, and I'm going to shave this, not really shave it, just push it out of the gallery into the balsam fir gum. I got to change the focus on my camera. I'm going to try to do this here by looking through the camera. And so into that balsam fir gum and sap, I'm just going to scrape this, and I'll bring it up to the camera and change the macro setting here, but I'm just putting this dust right into the gum. There we go. I think the dust will go just by itself without the gum, but it adds a nice little wicking material to it. Got one other piece I'm gonna grab here. Yeah, this has a lot of. Again, I ripped this piece. You can rip these pieces. I did this with my axe, but you can do it with your hands too if you really reef on it. Found some beautiful galleries here. Just all like fine powder. This is the little sawdust pieces that ants leave behind as they dig through the wood. That's probably enough there. I'm just going to lightly mash that in there so it doesn't fall off. So there we go. Let's give it a try. Oh. Okay, I've been aiming for the dust first. Seems to catch, and then I caught the lichen there, so there it goes. I thought that dust would catch faster than it would. It did so in the test yesterday, but that's pretty good. See if I can get that ant dust to go. There it goes. I just put the ferro rod a little closer to it. That's the lichen burning again, but that's the ant dust. So that was pretty neat.